Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we are going to start one new initiative regarding the NCERT textbooks. See here, we are discussing 6th class history NCERT, the first chapter what, where, how, and when. Unlike other courses where we discuss about what are the contents in the chapter, how to read the chapter, or how to understand the chapter. Here we specifically focus on few aspects. One, see, what we will be studying in this course is we will be discussing what UPSC asks. What UPSC asks from this particular chapter means what are the aspects of the questions which can be asked, which can be related from the UPSC point of view from this specific chapter. We will be studying each line where directly UPSC has referred to or UPSC has a scope of answer questioning from this chapter. This will be very useful for the students who would like to connect what to read in an NCERT, how to read in an NCERT, and what UPSC asks for in a specific chapter. We will be dealing with one chapter each day and we will be covering. We will not be dealing with whole explanation of the chapter, but we will be focusing on one thing. What UPSC asks from this chapter. Simply from this chapter 1, what, where, how, and when. In what ways UPSC can pose questions? Is there any example? What are the references? This we will be studying in our class. So right now we started with the sixth standard NCERT history, chapter 1, chapter 1, what, where, how, and when. So let us start. First, see, the first chapter, the first page, it focuses on an introduction, which we are not concerned with the detailed explanation of this chapter, but we will be going very specifically. See, let us see. In the first page, though there is a lot of information, we don't have anything which is specifically related to or useful for UPSC. One thing which is relevant for UPSC is the Narmada Valley. Narmada Valley. See, Narmada Valley along the banks of this river for several hundred thousand years. See, here the question can be framed in this way. Simply, where did earliest humans lived in India? The direct answer will be Narmada Valley. This can be a direct UPSC prelims question. Simply, where did the earliest people live in India? So the answer is Narmada Valley. The greater examples being the Dimbetka region, Haknora Valley, and all. They from the direct reasons or the direct places where the earliest people resided in India. So this is a direct relevance or direct example for the question. After this chapter, we will be discussing where the questions have been asked also. So first, let's complete the aspects which needs to be highlighted, which needs to be focused from this chapter from UPSC perspective. So in the first page, what is important is the Narmada Valley because earliest people lived here. Earliest people lived here. So there is a direct question of in a MCQ. We can simply say overall in India, which place had the earliest residence of people or where did the earliest people live? It is from Narmada Valley. Okay, they are hunter gatherers and food gathering is their occupation. Ready? Now let us go to the next page. Similarly, in the next page also we have a map. After a close observation of the map, You can clearly identify the Narmada Valley. You can clearly identify the Narmada Valley, the Vindhyas. See, simply from this map, the UPSC can frame questions as such. Identify within the same text, within this chapter only. In the first page, the text has asked about Narmada Valley. In the second page, the text asked about Suleiman and Kirtar Hills. Identify Suleiman. Suleiman and Kirtar Hills. Suleiman and Kirtar Hills. See, these Suleiman and Kirtar Hills are known for the early agriculture. Early agriculture. So, here we can have the second question. Second question means simply where did the early men in India cultivate, or where did the practice of cultivation start in India? It is Suleiman and Kartar Hills. Simply, this is another important question from UPSC perspective. This is a direct question. Where earliest cultivation of crops started? It is Suleiman and Kartar Hills. So we have the second question. Now the third. Within the same page, see, they have asked about the Garo Hills and the Vindhyas. Garo Hills and the Vindhyas, the Vindhya region. See, these were important because these are the places where agriculture developed and where rice was cultivated. This is very important. Where rice was first cultivated. Rice. So here we have another important question. The region where earliest cultivation of rice is identified is Vindhyas. So Vindhyas. See, within the first two, three pages, we got three questions. First one, where did the earliest people in India emerge? It is in the Narmada Valley. Second, where did the early cultivation started in India? It is Suleiman and Kirtar Hills. And the third one, where did earliest rice cultivation started? It is the Vindhya region. See, within this we have got three important questions. Okay. Now, let us see, with this knowledge, we can identify other questions also. Now, we identified Garo Hills, Vindhyas, Kirtar, and Suleiman Hills. So, UPSC poses questions which are both directly and indirectly related. Yes, it asks directly and indirectly connected questions. Simply, let us frame a question. If within the given map we know Garo Hills, Vindhya and Narmada, Kirtar and Suleiman Hills. Simply, UPSC frames a question such that by giving these names, they will be giving a order, whether it may be north to south or east to west. So simply they ask to order these places in north to south direction or east to west direction. This forms another important aspect of how UPSC asks questions from already given information within the NCERT. See, we are not going anywhere out of NCERT. Within the NCERT, how they frame the question. Simply within this map, we can have a question. They will be giving four options. Option 1, Garo Hills. Option 2, Kirtar Hills. Option 3, Vindhyas. And option 4, Narmada Valley. See, within this, they will be asking, arrange the following four questions in the north to south direction. Arrange the following four questions in the north to south direction. See, north to south direction of these four. So, let us observe within this. The first one being Kirtar Hills on the north, Kirtar Hills on the north. So this comes first. Next, Garo Hills comes. Next, Vindhyas, and next, Narmada Valley. This is the order. See, this is a very simple question, but important question which can surely come from prelims 2026. So this is how we read, or we can understand how within the first chapter UPSC frames questions. Next, so this is a very simple question of how they frame the question from the given inputs. Next, another important aspect which is very much related to very much within the topic is how UPSC frames questions with the given data. See, let us have the same options. Garo Hills, Kirtar, Vindhyas, and Narmada. Simply, they would like to arrange the question will be posed in this manner to arrange the chronological sequence, chronology of these places in prehistory. Simple. Chronology of these places in prehistory means according to the prehistory or prehistorical data, arrange these places in chronological order means based on the time scale, which one came first or which one came second. So by this, if we want to arrange this question, simply the answer would be earliest Narmada, because earliest people arrived in the Narmada region. Next, the earliest agriculture started in the Kirtar region. The earliest agriculture started in the Kirtar region. Next, the earliest rice cultivation started in Vindhyas and later Garo Hills. See, here we identified five very important questions from this very first chapter. UPSC standard questions directly from the textbook. How to make questions, how to understand how UPSC makes questions from the basic texts, from the basic materials. Chronology of the places: Garo Hills, Kirtar Range, Vindhyas, and Narmada. This is how we will be studying and understanding chapters. Okay, this is the next page. Now, move further forward. Let us move further forward to the next page of the same chapter. See, within this chapter also we have focus on the chapter discusses regarding the rise of Indus Valley civilization and urbanization in Ganga region. This is also very much important for our exam point of view, the Ganga urbanization, the period. But from what extent to in what purpose the question can be made from this particular page. Let us see once. Here it discussed about the Magadha kingdom, how people traveled, why people traveled. So here one important aspect we need to discuss is why people traveled. Why people traveled. See, what are the reasons people traveled in the in prehistory or prehistoric period? Why people traveled in the prehistoric or historic period? The factors. This forms an important aspect where UPSC tests our understanding. See, within this paragraph, we have the answer. We have a clear answer of why people travel from one part of the subcontinent to another. They are they moved in search of livelihood, they moved against natural disasters, and next they moved for conquest, they moved for economic or trade purposes, the people moved for religious proselytizing or religious propagation, And even it also explains that the people traveled for spirit of adventure. The spirit of adventure also people traveled. See, this is another important question which would be discussed. Now see, hmm, next other important aspects which we will be discussing from the questions, how UPSC asks questions from this particular chapter. Next, this aspect, names of the land. Names of the land, how India was named India, how India got the names like Hindustan and Bharat. This can be a direct mains question, CSC mains question, because already UPSC is known for asking questions for UPSC general studies mains questions, which are typical to the NCR. They stick to the basics, they stick to the very much basics, but they have deep questions. Simply here the question is about explaining the terms India, Bharat, Hindustan, and how these names were acquired, how India acquired these names over different periods, how the names meanings have changed, the meanings of the names have changed. Simply see here, earlier the Greeks or the Iranians called Hindus or the Indus essentially to the east of the region. The land to the east of the river Indus was called India. But now India is a political entity with a definite geography. Similarly, the term Bharata was specifically referring to Northwest. The term Bharata was specifically referring to Northwest. But now, according to the constitution, Bharata represents the entire nation. So simply there will be a question in General Studies mains, CSC mains General Studies 1, of what the name of the land signifies. We can mention other names also, the name like Jambu Dvipa, the name like Sapta Sindhu, the significance of the names. See, these all are from the basic sixth class chapter 1. This is the importance of this chapter. Simply, right? We have already the questions posed like this. That's why I'm stressing this much. How they will be questioning or framing the question. Or simply there will be a prelims question from our same within this paragraph. Simply they will be asking, what does the term Bharata signify according to Rigveda? See, what does the term Bharata signify according to Rigveda? It specifically means the used group of people who lived in northwest India. See, group of people who lived in northwest India. Similarly, the same term, like it can be used for Hindustan, the same question can be used for India, the same person can be used for Sapta Sindhu or the Ganga region. So within this same page, we can expect one prelims question and one general studies mains question. Okay, proceeding further. Now let us see. This this particular page have a direct reference or direct question for us. See, let us observe this one additional information here. This has a direct UPSC prelims question. UPSC prelims question over here. See, if you read the question, it is about an inscription given by Ashoka. See, the statement or the discussion given in this paragraph is about an inscription of Ashoka issued in Kandahar. But what is its significance? It is issued in two scripts. One is Greek and the other is Aramaic. Greek and Aramaic. So this forms an important UPSC question, straight away question. Which of the following edicts of Ashoka have two scripts or which is issued in bilingual scripts? Which is Greek and Aramaic? It is the Kandahar Edict. The Kandahar Edict of Ashoka uses two scripts, Greek and Aramaic. Direct UPSC prelims question. It is already asked in the prelims and it is always a recurrence of chance. There is a chance for another question. Within this block only, you have one question. Next. Next. See, within this aspect, there are other aspects of questions like what are the significance of manuscripts? What is the and another simple question can be posed from here, even in mains or prelims. A very simple question. Difference between script and language. See, within the same difference between a script and language. Within the same, we can analyze the examples. Within this page, we can identify the language like Sanskrit, Greek, Tamil, and Prakrit. These are languages. Within this same chapter or within the same page, we have the reference of scripts like Greek script, Aramaic script, Brahmi script, and Iranian script or Persian script. See, now they will be asking a very simple or fundamental question of identify the scripts or identify the languages. Simply, we need to know the difference between what is a script and what is a language. This forms another important question where UPSC tests our understanding within this one small chapter. Next, let us see. Simple from this page, you can identify what questions we can be or there is a chance for UPSC to ask. In this, we may not find any direct relevance for any question, but always there may be an indirect relevance for a question. Simply, they might be asking regarding this seal or a coin. Simply, they might be asking where to which period the earliest coins belong. See, here they gave that the earliest coins dates to 2500 years ago. 2500 years ago, earliest coins. So, this is a point of question for us. The earliest coins date to 2500 years, which is roughly the time period of Buddha. Roughly the time period of Buddha, the age of Buddha, which means the 6th century BCE. Okay, this is how we will be studying and understanding the chapter in the context of UPSC. How UPSC poses questions from this own single chapter. This is only one chapter of how do we understand. Next, see, observe this one. What do dates mean? Dates and calendars. Dates and calendars is one of the interesting topics for UPSC where we can have a direct or indirect question. Simply, they might ask regarding the calendars. The calendars like Saka era, Vikrama era, or the Gregorian calendar. See, though it is not directly inferred, but it is indirect reference. Indirect reference, they might compare, they might ask In a 10 marker question, they might ask for a 10 marker question in mains simply for a comparison between the Gregorian and Saka and the Hijra calendars. So this is an important aspect for questionnaire in UPSC mains. What do the significance of dates and chronology? Even they can have a direct question regarding the Indian chronology versus Western or European understanding of chronology. See, within this chapter or within this 7 to 8 pages, we were able to frame nearly 8 to 10 questions, UPSC standard questions within this 7 pages. This is the significance of studying NCRTs and how to study NCRT, particularly in light or in the context of how UPSC frames questions from NCRT. Next, see, we come to the ending of the question, ending of the chapter. Now, let us see what questions we have identified and which questions have appeared. Even in 2011 and 2016, there has been indirect reference to prehistory questions, prehistory questions in prelims. But in 2015 General Studies mains, there is a direct question related to the continuity of Indian civilization and its comparison with Egyptian, Greek, and other civilizations. Egyptian, Greek, and other civilizations. See, these are direct references from this very own chapter. This one chapter has given several questions over the years. Now, a quick recap. Let us see from the beginning how many questions we have framed from this own chapter. The first one regarding Narmada Valley, where did the earliest people emerge in India? The second one being the Suleiman and Kirthar Hills, where the early agriculture started. The third, Garo and Vindhyas, where earliest rice cultivation started. Even within the map, we are able to frame two important questions based on chronology and the other based on the location, the geographical location of these places. And the next, we focused on the factors for the movements of people, why people move. It can be a question for mains. And here we discussed about a potential question for mains regarding the name of the land. See, this is very important because even in the new NCRTs also elaborated on this topic, the name of the land, India, Jambudvipa, and Bharata. This is a sure shot question for prelims as well as mains. We need to be very specific about the names. Bharata means the group of people in northwest region, not the entire India. Next, we discussed about the Ashokan inscription, the Kandahar inscription, which is bilingual. And next, the difference between a script and a language. Next, we discussed about the possibility of a question regarding the earliest coins dating to 2500 years ago, which is 6th century BC. And finally, the dates of calendars, different calendars, the Saka era. There have been questions regarding Saka era and Vikrama era. So, within this one particular chapter, the very first chapter of what, where, how, and when, we were able to create or compose or understand nearly 10 questions both for UPSC prelims and mains. Prelims and mains from the very first chapter of 6th standard NCERT, chapter 1, what, where, how, and when. Thank you. The next class we will be discussing the next chapter.